Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. Alright you guys, so this is going to be a real short video because I don't really have that much to talk about. Let's talk about Mariah Carey and her interview that she had this week, where she said that being on American Idol was akin to working in hell with Satan. We already knew that Nicki Minaj and Mariah Carey working on the same stage together was going to be nothing short of a disaster. It was proof all last season when you could see that they were just barely grinning and bearing each other. Mariah Carey said that when she signed on for American Idol, she was led to believe that it was just going to be her and Randy and another judge, which was the country singer guy. What's his name? The one that's married to Nicole Kidman. What's his name, y'all? What's his name? I can't remember, but she was led to believe that it was just going to be those three. And after she signed on the dotted line shortly thereafter, you guys know, because we talked about it in an old top of the blogs, they signed Nicki Minaj on. I want to say that I think that if they had signed anybody else on, any other woman anyway, that it was going to be doomed. But definitely someone with such a big personality as Nicki Minaj. We've all heard horror stories about how difficult it is to work with Nicki Minaj. She's very divified. We also have heard stories about Mariah Carey, who is very divified. I think it all boils down to the fact that they're both single artists. They're not used to working, sharing the stage with another woman. They're both, very successful artists in their own right. I think that Mariah Carey is considered more of a living legend, and kind of feels like she deserves to have the stage on her own. Now, whether or not that's true, if you think that or not, Nicki Minaj stole some of that shine, and it started from the very beginning. I mean, like literally from the very first time that they went on the auditions, when they were going around the United States, doing the auditions. Nicki Minaj, Mariah Carey, you just kept hearing story after story about them two falling out. I think that stint on American Idol kind of did everybody in, because you see that Randy Jackson finally left the show. Basically, they cleared the whole judge panel. Randy Jackson and Mariah Carey, who always had a working relationship, I believe he was her manager for years and years and years. She ended up dropping him as her manager. I don't know if their friendship is still intact or whatever, but she cut the business tie with Randy Jackson. Yeah. That show, you hear so many things about American Idol. Like, what goes on there? I mean, you've heard it from the judges and the contestants, that people say that show is very grueling, and it can be very crazy. I mean, y'all remember that one season that Ellen DeGeneres was on there, and Ellen said it was horrible. I've heard other people mention how hard it is to work on that show. So I don't really know what that means. Nobody really ever comes out and says exactly what the problem is, but I don't know. One person who don't have a problem with it is J-Lo, because J-Lo is supposed to be coming back next season, and I really have a feeling it's because J-Lo thought she was gonna get back on tour and make that kind of money that she was making on American Idol, and she found out real quickly that, oh no, where else can you make $20 million sitting behind a desk and looking at other people sing? Like, I mean, that's a cush job. It was crazy to leave that job. J-Lo is the only person I've ever really heard say how much they loved that show, and was happy with what went on that show. So right now, it's just one judge that's confirmed is Jennifer Lopez. And I don't know who else they're going to have on there. I know one thing, though. They cannot have Jennifer Lopez being responsible for judging all these people, because I'm not saying that Jennifer Lopez is talentless, but no, I think we need somebody with a little bit more credibility in the music industry as a producer or as a writer or something like that, up there giving sound advice, and not just Miss Jennifer Lopez, who by all accounts is most known for her dancing skills. So Mariah Carey is so over it. And she made her quick little $12 million or however much money she made from American Idol, and she was just like, never again. I know you guys have all seen the interview that Pebbles had with Wendy Williams the other day, and what did you guys think about it? Pebbles went on to Wendy Williams because you guys know that Pebbles has been on this whole media tour of trying to clear her name from what she says was a very wrong portrayal of her in that VH1 movie TLC Crazy Sexy Cool. Pebbles has been on a rampage, releasing statements and talking to anybody who will listen, who said that what they said is not true. You also know that her daughter, who has her own satellite radio show, basically threatened Chili. Was like, Chili had an affair with her father, who was L.A. Reid, and that, if she was ever able to see Chili in the streets, that she would like pound her head against the ground, and all kind of crazy shit. So, the girl was mad, obviously, when she was talking. I don't think that she, when you look at her, she don't look like the type that's going to just be pounding Chili's head up against the ground. But, honey, you will never know when you are pissed, okay? Pebbles, she does defend her daughter. She does say that, that they don't condone violence, of course. But she does stand behind her daughter and what her daughter did say, which is, yes, she does believe that L.A. Reid had the affair with Chili. Now, when she was on Wendy Williams, they were talking and Wendy Williams was asking her all these questions, which is like, side note, you guys, I do really like Wendy Williams. However, I don't think she's a good interviewer because she interrupts a lot. I cannot stand that. I just wish that you would let somebody get their full thought out, and instead of you just jumping in every time Pebbles would like start a sentence, Wendy Williams was like, okay, but yeah, when you such and such and such and such. So I was just like, oh my lord. Wendy Williams asked her, did she believe that Chili and L.A. Reid had an affair together, because the word on the street was that Pebbles walked in on Chili and L.A. Reid in bed together. Pebbles was like, honey, if I would have saw that, I'd have caught a case, okay? That shit wouldn't have been pushed up under the rug. I'd have killed somebody right then and right there, which I do believe. I mean, it is really hard to keep that kind of shit under wraps. I mean, people do it every day, but still, I was just like, she don't look like the way she is. She don't look like the type that would have kept that shit under wraps. But she did say that she's always felt that those two had a relationship, had some sort of, affair. Now, this is not the first time that we've heard that rumor. My belief has always been that maybe it could have happened. I also started to think back about the VH1 Behind the Music for TLC, which never made any mention of it in the movie. But when you remember back into the Behind the Music, when Left Eye and T-Boz were talking about, they kind of had some issue with Chili because Chili was always with Dallas Austin, and they always had a feeling that Chili made more money and benefited more from the group than the rest of them because they were with Dallas, and because she was with Dallas, and since Dallas was doing a lot of their music, then she still benefited, made more money, and was able to, they just kind of, the way they said it in the documentary, it just made you feel like they felt like Chili still kind of benefited more from the group than the rest of them. So I started thinking back behind, to that kind of stuff. And I was just like, yeah, there might be some things that maybe T-Boz and Chili has kind of pushed under the rug and kind of have made us kind of forget. I just think it's way more to the story. What was really annoying me was the fact that she kept on talking about the confidentiality agreement when why you can't say nothing but they can. Like, they've been going on and saying all these things about you, and they haven't been too concerned for this confidentiality agreement, but all of a sudden you're sticking behind it now. I guess maybe because she realizes that maybe she could be sued. I don't really know what that is, but she says now she's going to write a book and she is going to, put it all out on the table. Kind of feel two ways about it. I do really feel like they did them girls wrong. I mean, I'm always going to feel that way about it. But I also feel like Pebbles is getting a lot of the blame when she was explaining that she's down here and you've got L.A. Reid up here and you've got Clive Davis up here and you've got Arista up here. Arista, I mean, it's so many other people that was involved that also did it. I think it's unfair that everybody is just putting the blame totally and solely on Pebbles when it was really a group of people or really a company that took advantage of these girls. Not really feeling sorry for Pebbles because you still did what you did, but I can see where there's more to this story, and hopefully when she writes her book, I would be interested in finding out what she has to say. So, did you guys see the interview with Wendy Williams? I actually watched it on YouTube. You guys can go on YouTube and find it as well. And then you guys let me know if you still feel like Pebbles is just 100% the devil, or if she is possibly being thrown under the bus by, you know, the powers that be, and that there are way more people that are also responsible for TLC's downfall. Also, I got to tell you guys that VH1, because Pebbles has threatened that she's going to sue VH1, because there ain't no sense in suing TLC. They ain't got no damn money. Okay, she's going after the big guns, which is VH1, and you know, is threatening that she's going to sue them. Now I find it very interesting that VH1 is backing up off of a, you know, it's a true story. Now they're saying it was a fictionalized portrayal of the events that happened with TLC. So they are kind of backing up and saying, okay, we didn't really say that this really happened. You know, this is just a movie. And I think they're doing that because I think they're preparing themselves for what might be a legal assault, you know, by Pebbles. Oh, and then we must also say that, you know, Chili and T-Boz have come out and said that what Pebbles have said is not true, that Chili did not have an affair with L.A. Reid, and you know, they still maintain that they told the truth. So what do I always say? There's three sides to a story, right? Okay, let's hope that eventually between the two stories that's told, we'll be able to kind of come up with our on our own what exactly was the truth. Okay, but yeah, did you guys see the interview? Let me know what you think. On the blog the other day, and I saw that Jennifer Hudson got a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Walk of Fame, a star on the Walk of Fame. How do you guys feel about that? Now, I understand that Jennifer Hudson is a very accomplished actress and singer. Okay, she is an Oscar winner. She's a Grammy winner. She's performed on Broadway. She's been on TV shows. She made her claim to fame on American Idol. I mean, she definitely is a success story. Somebody that's gone from here to here. Does she deserve accolades and all of that? I 100% think so. When I think of the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I think about stars that have really paved the way. People that have really been putting forth so much work over the years and years and years, and it has grown. You know, have a legacy behind them where one can respect and honor them, and then they get a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Okay, I don't know if it's because the culture of the Walk of Fame is changing, and if they're giving it more to people now who, you know, who are just, you know, doing well right now, but I don't know how I feel about that. I just was like, gosh, it doesn't seem like she should have one by now. You got Babyface, who just got his star, and Puffy, who just got his star, and you know, you see all these people that have really been doing it for some years and years and years, and then you get somebody who's, I mean, American Idol has only been on like 10 years, and she was on, you know, not even the first year. So you know, I do like Jennifer Hudson as an actress. You guys know she's not my favorite singer, but I still can admire what she's been able to accomplish in her short time as being an entertainer. But I just felt like she shouldn't have the Walk of Fame. Now, what I do know is that people apply for the Walk of Fame. You know, the Walk of Fame people don't come after you. You actually apply for it. And I found this out when when Kathy Griffin, I used to watch her show back on the E! Channel years and years and years ago, and she actually applied for it and they turned her down. You know, I'm sure that Jennifer Hudson's people applied for it and she was accepted, and then you go through all the motions of how honored you are and all of that, but you know, the bottom line is really you actually apply to get the damn star. So like I said, I don't know if the culture is changing, and if, you know, maybe they're starting to give it to people who, you know, who are just consistently successful now. I thought it's interesting that they're not going to give it to a reality star. They said they will never give it. The Chamber of Commerce in Hollywood said they will never give it to a reality star, even though Jennifer Hudson is a reality star. Okay, initially she started as a reality star, but she's gone on to achieve fame in other genres. But yeah, it was interesting that they're not going to give it to a reality star. I really don't think you should get one just because you're a reality star. I don't care how big you are. The whole big fuss about Kim Kardashian not getting a Walk of Fame star. Yeah, she's contributed a lot. You know, just her fame herself. She's famous just for being famous. But still, the whole concept of the Hollywood Walk of Fame star are people who are truly successful in Hollywood as artists, as singers and actresses and producers and directors, and all the people that really make it happen. And just being a reality star, just being famous just because you're famous, is not really sticking to what the rules of the Walk of Fame thing is. But anyway, I'm just trying to see if you guys think that Jennifer Hudson deserves the star as well. Because when I saw her, I was just like, how is she getting a star? You guys, I got up the other day to get in my car to go to work, and when I turned on the radio, man, the whole radio was up in a roar over these comments that Akon made, which was that there is no man on earth that can be 100% satisfied by any one woman. He goes on to say things like, men have all these needs that not one person can meet. Men as human beings are not made up to be monogamous, and this, that, and the other, kind of just going on and on. You guys, we all know that Akon is a polygamist. He has multiple wives all over the world. He's always said that he has. We also know that Akon, is he Muslim? I know he's African. I believe he's Muslim, and in the Muslim world, they believe in polygamy. Everybody was so upset about the things that he said, and I didn't really find all that much. I didn't really get all that upset about it, because you guys, some people are probably gonna get upset with me, but I really do truly believe that human beings are not necessarily made up to be, monogamous. Monogamy, in my opinion, is a choice. Okay, when you settle down, when you get with somebody, you get married or something, it becomes a choice to stay monogamous with this person because you are now in a committed relationship. However, if it was so easy to be monogamous, you wouldn't have all these people that are cheating and running around on their spouses. I mean, you have people that are good people that cheat. Everybody that cheats is not just some old bad, they fucking around with all these people and don't care about their mate. And, it's not just that cut and dry. So the struggle is always to remain faithful. Okay, even when there's always all this temptation out there. I think that's because our human nature is you want to be with, you want to test the waters. Okay, but the choice is what you make. The choice to be monogamous. But I don't think that it's natural. I don't think that that's something that's in us naturally to be monogamous. He's a polygamist. I also feel like, a man that has all these different wives and everything has a whole lot of work to do. And I don't really know why they would want to have so many wives. But, if that's what your belief is, that's what your belief is. I just really thought that the statement was interesting because really, if I didn't have my Western way of thinking and it hadn't been so ingrained in me, and I, this is just really what my value and my belief system is now, I can really see how if you just, if you had a, now see, I'm going to say this and you guys going to be all over me, but what I'm trying to say is, if you had a, man who had these bunch of women and all the women were okay with it, then there really wouldn't be no reason to be fighting. There wouldn't be any domestic incidents because everybody is okay with it. But now, does that mean that I feel like men should be able to just go out and be with a whole bunch of women? No, I don't really feel that way. But I also do feel that monogamy is a choice and not something that is just 100% in us. What kind of got me off, where I was listening to him and I was just like, I just really thought that it was interesting that he said that women, women aren't built up that same way. Like, women are used to being emotionally connected and being with one person, which is for the most part true. But y'all, we know plenty of women that's hoes now. And not necessarily even have to be hoes, but we know a lot of women who are sexually free and really out there and doing what they want to do, and they don't really have that same sort of thinking. I think that men think that women all have this emotional connection. They have to have this emotional sexual connection, and they don't just go around sleeping around. But I will tell you differently. I know some folks, you would look at them, they're successful, they got good jobs, and you know, they ain't the ones that's in the club every weekend and doing all this. But yeah, I think men kind of in their mind, they just really like to think that women don't be out there like that. But that's not necessarily true. Women and men both cheat. Women and men both get into, extramarital affairs, or, women and both men sleep around. Women and both men do all of this. So that was the only part that I disagreed with him. I think as human beings, we might not be built up to be monogamous, and that is just something it's so much more deep to it, to you guys. It's just so much more that I could get into. I don't feel like getting into all of that right now, but I want to know what you guys think about Akon's, I can't get my words together because I've been drinking this free ass coffee at Racetrack all this week, and I feel so damn coffeeed up. My words not coming out. Tell me, you guys, what you think about Akon. First of all, I watched Braxton Family Values last night. Did you guys watch it? I don't know what season this is. I guess this is season 4. It was okay. The show basically centered on Tracy and Trina, and both of them going through, Trina's going through the divorce from Gabe, but Tracy is really having to face the fact that the shit that Tawanda put out on the very last episode of last season, saying that her husband has a love child and has been cheating on the side. Well, now Tracy's having to deal with that. I always thought that it was real foul of them to put that on the episode when it happened, because now this is a marriage you're talking about, and I don't know if Tracy didn't know about it. Why would you put that on TV? Maybe that was something you was keeping it a little too real, Tawanda. This episode was basically Tracy trying to put out fires. She told us that the man had a vasectomy, and there's no way that he could have a love child anywhere. But, and I guess we'll find that out as the season goes on. But, I thought Tracy looked good. Okay, she lost a lot of weight. Her face is so funny how they all start to look alike once they get that weight down. Some of them scenes, if she would have had her hair a little bit longer, she would have been looking like, Tamar. I was feeling pretty good for Tracy. The fact that she was looking a lot better. And then we got that one-on-one when she had that fucking extra curly, brushed out. It was looking like a fucking poodle. I was just like, here we go, Tracy. Tracy can't never be consistently right. Still, she looks great. She's lost a lot of weight. Trina said she picked up 30 pounds. I was just like, Trina, I don't see no 30-pound pickup there. Had a little bit of Tony, her and Babyface, who are going to be coming out with their album. I think it's called Love, Marriage, and Divorce. I'm fans of both of them. I've always liked their music, and I do really like that Never Meant to Hurt You song, and that one song that Tony wrote and said, I hope she breaks your heart. I was just like, yeah, I'm here for it. I think it's going to be good. The funny thing is, it's always funny to see Tony Braxton and Babyface together. Am I the only one that started thinking, like, why don't them two just get together? Although I think Babyface is married. He's married now, I think, right? But it was just like, when you see the two of them together, I was just like, oh, they kind of cute together. Like, maybe they could just go on and be a little couple. Both little teeny tiny, she got a little head, he got a little head. They, they do have some sort of chemistry together. So I'm looking forward to their album. We had a little bit of Tamar. I was just starting to think, like, ooh, that Tamar, she is really spreading herself thin. She has her show with Vince. She has a show at Braxton Family Values. She's got her album that she's touring for right now. She's got a brand new baby. She's doing a Christmas album. I mean, she is doing a lot. I'm not hoping for her downfall at all, because I think she's very talented and can handle it all. But I'm also hoping that she takes some time out for herself, because you guys, we've seen people who be burning the damn candle at both ends, and that shit, it crumbles. And it's been going around that she's been having voice problems, and she might just be overworked. Okay, so maybe after this season of Braxton Family Values, maybe she could take a little break. Girl, sit down somewhere, okay? Just go on and just relax for a little while. I know you want to do it, and I don't blame you. We all want to be successful, especially in something that we love doing, but I also want her to be okay, so That was it for Braxton Family Values. It was good though. I you know, I'm not gonna review that show normally though, so y'all don't be asking me. No, I'm not doing it. Basketball Wives LA. They had a little bit of drama on the taping last month, and I guess Dre has decided that she is leaving the show. They say that she didn't show up for the finale and she's not doing anything else with the show. Evidently, Drea and Sunday Carter, who is supposedly Jackie's best friend, they got into a fight, and it was a good enough fight where Sunday left out with a black eye. So they saying that Drea fucked her up all over the fact that Sunday was saying some shit about Drea's boyfriend, the guy Orlando who plays for Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what his last name is. Drea has made it very clear that you will not be talking about my man. Okay, and she had to go on and whoop up on a bitch just to let him know for sure. So now let's talk about the boyfriend, Orlando. I don't really know anything about football. All I know is that she has really put it out there that she's with this guy. She loves him. She shows that she cooks for him, and she's always in Dallas at his games, and they wear his jerseys, and you know, she seems to be happy in this relationship. Soon as she started putting her relationship on the internet, I was just like, we're gonna hear something about it, because you know, whenever you put your business out there like that, it's always some bitch that's gonna be after him, or that's just gonna come out the woodworks. You guys know how some of these side chicks work. True to form, some chick has recently put out some of his text messages and messages that he's sent her back and forth, how he wants to get back with her, and you know, how they should go hang out, and kind of just something that he probably shouldn't be doing with another woman if he has a girlfriend in Drea. So there's been some pressure put on that relationship this week. And now they're saying that the reason that Drea and Sunday probably got into that fight is because supposedly her boyfriend wanted to get with Jackie Christie's daughter. What is the girl's name? Shanny. Shanny is a beautiful girl. We see her on Jackie Christie's Instagram a lot, and you know, I don't really know if there's any truth to that, but I was surprised that Basketball Wives LA even came back this season, because nobody was really checking for it like that. And and I had already heard that Drea had got her own show. I haven't heard anything else about it though, so I don't really know if that Fine Ass Girls show is still in motion. But Drea is kind of taking the bull by the horns and kind of made it her own. Now she has her own webisode. I think it's called Life of Drea or something like that, where it's just basically a camera that follows her throughout her day, throughout her life, you know, talking about her business, Fine Ass Girls, and different ventures that she has. So she seems to be a busy enough girl. She's trying to make her coins, and that's all we can ask of somebody. This whole thing with her and her boyfriend and Basketball Wives LA and, you know, Sunday and all that, I guess it'll remain to be seen when the season comes on. But yeah, Drea, it looks like she is done with Basketball Wives LA. Real Housewives of Atlanta. You guys know it's been so much drama going on with Portia Stewart and Cordell Stewart and Kenya Moore. This week, I guess Kenya has said something about how she finds it really interesting that, you know, the family of Portia, you know, are putting all these bad words and bad vibes out about Cordell, and, you know, fanning the flames about Cordell Stewart being gay, when at one time they was all one big happy family. I kind of felt the same way about it. However, you know, Kenya, the fact that, you know, Kenya's on the show with Portia and can't really, you know, they can't stand each other. It's just like, Kenya, why are you even saying anything? You know, just fucking stay out of it. She done got that child. Portia just so upset that now Portia, she putting out all these different, you know, statements about Kenya and how she needs to stay in her lane and keep my mama's name out your mouth. That goddamn ghetto ass saying that I cannot stand. What the fuck what if I like having them in my mouth? I can't run her name around my mouth like some ice cubes. That's what you need to say. I like having her name in my mouth. It fits real nicely back in there. Just like running around like I'm kind of thinking we gonna be tired about this Cordell and Portia shit before this season is over. Now Cordell, because I guess his little radio interview was not enough exposure for him, he has decided that he is going to go on Wendy Williams and voice his side of the story and kind of let his side be known why he filed for the divorce. And I don't blame him. I mean, you know, it's just like, you know, everybody else got all this shit to say about you, good, bad, or indifferent. I still want to say my goddamn side. Okay, he don't have Real Housewives of Atlanta to be his platform anymore, so now he's got to kind of take matters into his own hands. So I guess we're gonna be seeing Cordell Stewart on Wendy Williams, and if Wendy Williams can shut her damn mouth long enough to let the man talk, hopefully we'll find out something new. Lastly, you guys, Preachers of LA. I really do like this show. I didn't think I was gonna like it, and or I was really just kind of hesitant because I didn't really know what exactly was gonna go down on the show. But the show, actually, you guys, is not really that bad. Now, of course, it's some fuck shit on there, okay? And I will tell you, the fuck shit is Dietrich. Dietrich Haddon and that child. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the girl pregnant. I just really feel like she is pregnant, because it's been too many things going on. Too much of a rush for them to get married. Too much of a rush for them to get in this house together. Too much about sex. And too much about keeping the relationship alive. It's just something there, you guys. And you know what? My mama ain't raising no dummy. I think he hurried up and went and married that girl because she's pregnant. And we can't have him getting this girl pregnant 2 times out of wedlock. You a preacher and you supposed to be all this man of the cloth, because you know we all are human, okay, and we all fall and do what we do. However, you just can't keep on making the damn same mistake and think that the good Lord Jesus is just gonna be okay with it. Okay, yeah, we make a mistake, we learn from it, and we don't do that shit again. Okay, so something is going on with Dietrich Haddon. He's the only one on the show when I be looking at it, I be like, all right, Dietrich. Now, he's a talented man. He can sing. He has a beautiful voice. But something about him is just, yeah, it's just some old fuck shit. And then Bishop Noel Jones, who I still do really admire as a bishop, you know, as a pastor, a man who knows his word and everything. But you know, this whole thing with Bishop Noel Jones, it kind of opened my eyes too. It's just like, first of all, Bishop, you know you don't want to get married again. You know you don't want to be with this woman. You kind of been happy with the way the relationship is, and this show has kind of forced you to kind of realize that Loretta has been spinning her wheels all this time, because you ain't gonna do nothing with that woman. You ain't getting married to her. You ain't getting engaged. I mean, you guys keep on wanting us to act like we don't remember Lisa Ray. And there was some rumor about Nene. I've heard some other rumors about other people. So, yeah. You might as well cut that out, Bishop. You like your life exactly the way it is, okay? You want to stay single. You want to have your nice cars. You want to have your nice home. You want to travel, spread the word. And that's just really all you want. You want to have that damn dog dressed up. I was just like, that still like is sitting hard on my heart. Like, I just didn't want my bishop to be carrying no damn Shih Tzu around with a dress on. Still, he has his life the way he likes it. And to me, he ain't had no intentions of ever getting married. And if you women out there don't see that from this season, then I don't know what to tell you. Bishop Whisper, I really do like him. You know, he is a little over the top. He's very passionate about what he does and everything. Yeah, he can say some stuff that kind of rub you a little bit wrong, but you know, for the most part, I really do believe that the man's heart is in the right place. Okay, I like the white guy. What's his name? The skateboarder, you know, old drug addict, and his wife. The wife seems to be very down to earth, just very cool, okay? And just, you know, I think that they are sincere. The only one who has not changed my mind is McClendon. I've really tried all this season to get with McClendon and, you know, and understand his, but I'm just never gonna like Mr. Pastor McClendon. That's it. But for the most part, the show I think is really good. Do you guys like the show? Have you guys changed your feelings about the show? Do you feel it's any better than you thought it was gonna be? Any worse than you thought it was gonna be? Just exactly what you thought it was gonna be? I don't think it's all that bad. I'm sure it will be back for next season. All right, you guys. So that's it. We do this every week. So I want you to remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And I want you to remember to come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.